What is going on, guys? This is the self-elected Ape of the Year once again, and today I will make a video about what I think of the game Battle of Stalingrad in the current stage that it is in. And I've already scratched that topic in another video, and here I will give you a detailed example of it, and I will show you a perfect example of how this game plays out right now. And yeah, well, before we are going to go into the criticism, I want to stress out that I like the game. I love how it looks. I think it's a shame that it's playing out on this landscape because navigational wise, you know, there's not really much to talk about. Or, you know, for example, if you fly in this game with a friend or whatever, how are you going to describe where you are? There's no mountain ridge, there's no coastline, there's no big characteristic forest or anything. It's just everything pretty much looks the same. This is unfortunate. Well, maybe these developers are going to choose a landscape wisely one day. So, but you know, overall, I really like the game. I really think that it is a great franchise. I want this franchise to be successful, and it really has the potential for that. But we have one big problem. There's one elephant in the room, and this is the contact visibility. I've already talked about this a little bit, and in a earlier video, Nachtjäger, somebody told me in the comment section that they improved it, contact visibility from 6 kilometers to 10 kilometers. Now I have tried it out. The last few days I played it a couple of times to look at the status that we have right now, and I have to say that it didn't make any difference at all. I do not even consider, you know, 10 kilometers. It would be awesome if I would be able to spot somebody at 10 kilometers distance if the spot was being rendered. Maybe I have some problem in the settings, you know, maybe I haven't optimized it in order to be able to spot contacts at 10 kilometers, but as it is right now, for me, I would say that the contact visibility in this game is something around 4 kilometers. If somebody is further away from you than 4 kilometers, you're not going to see him. And even 4 kilometers is only possible, in my opinion, if you circle above an area and you are maybe at, you know, 6 kilometers altitude and he is at 2 kilometers altitude and he's directly below you, then you can kind of see him, you know, against the white background. But if he's on the horizon or something like that, the way that this game is designed, the way that the air, the depth of field, the particle effects and the blindingness of this white light, you are not going to be able to see somebody who's further away than 4 kilometers. Even if he was rendered, the dot is going to be so small. If you have a higher resolution on your PC, on your monitor, like finding somebody, I think it's not possible to see somebody in this game who's further away than 4 kilometers. Even though it is claimed to be rendered at 10 kilometers, which would be awesome, which would be a very good spotting distance. But, you know, if I could see people, if I could make out contacts at 10 kilometers distance, right here in this mission that I'm playing right now, I should be able to find somebody. I should be able to see somebody. But as you see, I'm scanning the horizon here, and I don't see anybody. This right here is a completely populated server. It's 64 people playing on this map. I'm on my way to the middle of the map. I'm trying to see somebody, and I don't see a single contact. In any other game, or let's say for example in Cliffs of Dover, I'm not bad at spotting contacts, and I don't have bad eyes or anything. But, you know, I don't see anybody here. And this is pretty much how the dynamic of this game is going right now. And you kind of cope with that as a player. So you learn, okay, trolling is not an option in this game. If I patrol, I do that 10 times, and after the 10th time I say, okay, never again, doesn't work. You know, you fly around for at least 35 minutes or something, or 20, 25, 30 minutes. It's going to take that long before you find your first contact, you know? And now chances are that it's a friendly contact, not even an enemy. And you learn, you more or less, the way that the human brain works. This is not satisfying. It's not satisfying to fly around for half an hour before you find the first contact, and then it's not even an enemy and there's still no fight happening, you know, and you are completely bored. So you go to the hotspot. You go to the area on a map where everybody goes. And this dynamic is playing out in this game again and again and again. This is not a coincidence. I've realized that after a couple of months of playing the game. You know, on the one side, it's a very good looking game. The flight physics feels good, at least if you correct the curves of the input settings. And, you know, it's very well done. And if you have a fight, a 1 versus 1 against a good opponent, this game feels wonderful. It's a great game. But at the same time, this is not gonna happen. It's the only way to play this game satisfyingly right now is on a dual server. So if you are up against somebody and you more or less meet each other artificially, and you have a fight because you know where everybody is, you know where your opponent is, you meet him, you fight against him, have a good dogfight. This is how the game is fun. If you fly around on any map, just as I'm doing right here, it's going to play out just as it happens right here. You see, I am looking on the map from time to time. You don't see that here, but I'm doing it. I'm looking on the map, trying to navigate, trying to see where I am, using the very, very badly visible visual cues that you can have to navigate in this map. And you know, I'm kind of in the middle of the map, looking around. I don't see a single contact. I don't see anyone. And like I said, this is a completely populated server. It's not an empty server or anything like that. And I'm not at the edge of the map, you know, or somewhere where it shouldn't be. This is pretty much the hot zone. It's along the front line, and still I cannot see anybody. And this is the experience that you have in this game. It plays out like that again and again and again. And you know, at the beginning of this video I said that I want this franchise to be successful. I want more than 200 people, the maximum, play this game at the same point in time. You know, if you enter this game on prime time, you know, and you take a look at all the servers that are running, and you take a look at the people that are playing, there's never more than 200 people playing this game at the same time on the multiple servers, you know. And this is just such a shame, you know. Take a look at War Thunder. War Thunder is being played by 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people at the same time. And how is that possible? Why is that? Why is that the case? I'm telling you, the reason for this is that the fight dynamics in this game are just simply boring. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to fly around for half an hour before having the first fight. And you can now argue, yeah, well, that is how it works in a simulation. No, that is not how it works in a simulation. In a good simulation, the contact visibility is being acknowledged as being a very, very important aspect of a successful, good experience, you know. This is a monitor, this is a PC, that's not real life. The spotting works differently than it would with the human eye in real life. And people got to acknowledge that, people got to know that, and know that this is a challenge to bring a good contact visibility at the same time while staying realistic in a kind of way, you know. And for example, the Team Fusion modders, they found a way to do that. In Cliffs of Dover, as it is right now, you have a good contact visibility while still having an immersive and realistic feeling, you know. It's not like there are some kind of red and blue letters showing you where the guys are. It is just a dot. It's very hard to spot, but at the same time it is possible. Right here, you know, I'm flying around now for, what is it, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Didn't find a single contact. And at the end of this video you will see the ironic part. You will see where it gets really, really absurd. But this is the case. This is the reason why this game isn't successful, because the contact visibility is not... You know, contact visibility is practically non-existent in this game. And right here, I was looking on the map once again, and I think should be spotting somebody within some time. Yeah, I was spotting this first contact was a coincidence. I'm telling you this in beforehand. Where is he? There he is. You know, this guy. I saw him. Now I see him. You know. This was not at 10 kilometers distance. I could not see this guy at 10 kilometers distance. He practically appeared out of nowhere, and you know, I did not even search for this guy, or this was just a coincidence. I was looking on the map. This is why I was diving down at this certain spot. And if this coincidence hadn't happened, that I got very close to him, closer than 3 kilometers or something, I would never have found this guy, you know. And you know, if somebody would be flying right here above these smaller patches of ice, you know, and he would be flying right there at 1 kilometers altitude or something, you wouldn't see him. You simply wouldn't be able to see him. And this is what makes you feel like, you know, you're not in control. You are not really patrolling. You're just dependent on luck if you are going to find somebody if you patrol. And the only thing that is left for you to do is to go to the hotspot, go where everybody goes. And this is a dynamic that we're going to see in just a moment, and I will prove to you guys how absurd this game feels. You know, coming out of nowhere, finding nobody, flying in an empty space, completely alone, and then suddenly be surrounded by 30 planes. This is how this game works out. This is how this game plays right now. And I want that, I really would like that to change. And cannot stress out how important this small aspect of a game is in order to be good in the long run. And I mean, people need to be playing this game for longer than 2 months and, you know, still have fun with it. But this is not possible as it is right now. The only way to have fun in this game right now is fighting on a dual server. But if you are patrolling, if you just randomly fly in an online situation, this game gets boring as fuck after a couple of months. And the reason for this, I'm telling it again and again, I hope that the developers are going to see that, or that this is going to spread around, that they're going to realize that this is the problem. You know, these developers need to understand this is the difference between driving around maybe in a BMW or Mercedes. If you want to drive around in an Aston Martin or Lamborghini, because this game is really, really successful, you need to change that contact visibility. You know? Because this is not going to, you know, this is a bad experience. I've been flying around for so long, and now finally I see people. And once again, arriving pretty much out of nowhere. How far is he away? Not even 4 kilometers. This guy, appearing out of nowhere. Didn't see him before. Now he's suddenly here. Where was he before? Why didn't I see him earlier? No. All of a sudden, we got a couple of people, you know, and they are appearing out of nowhere. And it's going to get more absurd. In just a moment you will see what I mean. You will really see what I mean. Here I'm following this guy, trying to differentiate, trying to see what he is, if he's a friendly or not. He's a 109, I see that right now. You know, this kind of stuff is working perfectly. At closer distances everything is good. But now take a look at that. See that? See how absurd that is? There's more than 20 planes. No. On an area that is maybe 1 kilometer across. See that fish tank here? Can you believe that? Coming into this after flying around for nearly 20 minutes without finding anyone, and then suddenly you are in an area where everybody is just cramped up. And these poor people, you know, these poor guys, you really gotta understand that. They all had the experience again and again and again and again that flying around searching for contacts simply doesn't work in this game. You need to go to the hotspot. You need to more or less arrange a meeting. and then everybody is going to be there, you know. And this is not an immersive feeling. This is no fun at all, because it's arcadey to participate, or to take part in a fight like that, you know. If I enter this furball, I'm going to kill one guy, I'm going to get killed myself. Something like that is going to happen. You know, it's really not the immersion, it's really not the feeling of flying that I want to have. And I want to have multiple smaller skirmishes spread out all across the map. I want to have people that are really looking for contacts and not just meeting up at a certain spot, you know. And this is not possible as it is right now. You have this exact, the way that it played in this mission that I showed you right now, this is how this game plays out right now. And the reason for this is the contact visibility. You need to find a way, make the dots bigger at bigger distances, test it, try out, make it so people can really find each other at longer distances, and then this is all going to spread out, because most of these poor guys, they don't want a fight like that. They want to have a fight, you know, smaller skirmishes of 1 versus 1 situations, or smaller groups fighting against each other, you know, and not fighting at the same spot over and over again. And what I want you guys to do right now is write a comment below this video whether you agree, whether it is important for you to have an experience where you really are able to patrol and fly this game as a flight simulator as it should be, you know. And not because you want to please me, but because it is your opinion. Tell me your opinion about it. Maybe people from 1C, from developers, are going to see that, and maybe they're going to understand. If enough people are going to tell that this is the problem, you know, that this is the reason why this game is no fun at all in the long run, you know. This game could be so successful. Maybe it is going to be a lot better on the summer map. Maybe it is really, like I said, just a problem with the particle effect, that with the depth of field, that the air is more or less, quote unquote, too thick or something, or that the light is overshining it, and you don't, because of that you're not able to see that. Maybe this is the case. I don't know. We will see this in the summer map, but they really need to figure out a way to make it like in Cliffs of Dover, for example, that there is an option to spot people at bigger distances. And this is the reason. I'm pretty sure that this is the reason why this game isn't successful, because people are not like, oh man, this game is so awesome, telling their friends and playing it together, you know. Everybody's playing it for a couple of hours and pretty much sees, okay, this is getting boring pretty fast. And this is not just because it is a flight simulation, you know. People that flying flight simulations normally have a lot of patience, but, you know, flying around for and having this experience again and again and again, flying around for half an hour, finding nobody, and then being in an area all of a sudden where 30 planes are around you, this is not what people want. People want to have a good feeling, a good dynamic experience, an immersive experience, and not this bullshit. So please fix that. Acknowledge that this is the problem, that you really have to work on that. That is more important than adding in 10 new planes or whatever, you know. This is the thing that you need to have to work on. If you don't do that, you're going to drive around in your whatever. It's definitely not an Aston Martin. So please comment below this video. Let's make some kind of a petition and get enough people, and maybe developers are going to acknowledge that. I hope that this game is going to be a big franchise one day, and more than 200 people are going to play it at prime time. So this was the self-elected Ape of the Year, signing off. I will do videos about Battle of Stalingrad in the future too, but you know what? I'm not nearly going to enjoy it as much as I could. This game could be so awesome, but it is not. Well, see you on the next one.